morning. Today my topic is cell phone video recording feature is a language learning tool, a case study. Look at this topic, you might be wondering that. Why my topic today is totally different from the two presentations I did last semester, right? And actually after the two presentations I did last semester, I kept asking myself, what else I can do in addition to helping students to reduce their anxiety in class? So I want to try to find out some ways to help students motivate their learning. So I want to find out some possible connection between students and their cell phones, since the cell phone has already become a very important part of their life. So this is the reason why I choose this topic as my presentation today. Okay. And next part is the citation of the article. This article is from Computer and Education in 2012. And today my presentation will contain 7 sessions. First is introduction, second, literature review, research question, and followed by the method, results, conclusion, and last part is my reflection. First, introduction. We're talking about the backgrounds and purpose of the study. Okay, so take a look at before we get started, we have to know the definition of terms in the study. So in the teaching field, it's necessary for students and teachers to know what is called. So what's called? Computer assisted language learning. Very good. And the second one, what is M-learning? It's a mobile learning. Good, you are smart. So which means students can learn, okay, with their mobile devices, which like cell phones or PDAs. Okay, so let's get started. Talking about the backgrounds of the study, some of the literature on M-learning has asserted that cell phones can be used in a co-classroom, but at the same time, some research doesn't agree about that. Okay. And based on these backgrounds of the study, the writer wants to reveal whether or not cell phone video production can be a suitable communicated learning tools for EFL learners. So based on these two purposes, first is the background, second is the purpose. Okay. So let's take a look at the literature review first. In this session, we're talking about different aspects in the past literature. And the literature on M-learning is extensive and ranges from the study of tablet PC, MP3 technology, PDAs, and cell phones. And at the same time, there's still some contradictions between the research. So in 2006, these two researchers mentioned that the technology is not yet up to the standard required for the educational needs, which means that the instructor and teachers cannot use the technology in their learning environment. But in 2007 and 2009, these two researchers mentioned that cell phones can be a valuable learning tools for enhancing learner development. So you can see the different points, right? In order to figure out the answer to this conflict, the writer set up this research question. So he wants to ask, is it possible to use the cell phone video recording features to evaluate learners' speaking skill? Pretty interesting, right? Okay, so based on this purpose with the questions, few steps were set up in this study of the methodology. So in this part, we're talking about participant, instruments, and the data collection strategy. Take a look at the first part, participants. Okay. I offer the backgrounds of these participants. There are 9 participants in this study, and they are all at the second years of the university, and they majored in engineering, and their ages were between 19 to 20. And they had to take about 14 weeks communicating English course. And of course, each week they have to record one video with their cell phone and send it to the teacher. And during the process, the writer can get the data from these 4 instruments. First is class video recording. Second is the cell phone video performance and process reports and surveys and interviews. After that, we were talking about data collection strategy, which also means the procedure of the study. Okay. So take a look at it. Before they take the English test, the English course, students can have a pre-test to test about their attitude about how to use the cell phones in their learning. And then in the English course, students need to have a 30-second video and send it to the teacher. And after that, students can have a post-test about their attitude to learn to use the cell phones in class. And then the writer can get the data for the t-test analysis and the Pearson correlation coefficient. Then, of course, the writer can get the data, the result from these 4 sessions. First is a pre-test, video performance, post-test, and a statistic analysis. So let's take a look at the result from the pre-test. Okay. From the pretest, the evidence reveals that all the students are very familiar with the technology, and they are very willing to experiment and use it as many features to enhance their learning. This is from the pretest. And from the video performance, before we talk about the result, let's take a look how students have their video record. First, they have to write a script about what they are going to say in the video, and after that, they have to spend some time practicing. Okay? And on average, each student needs to spend about 20 to 30 minutes to produce one video. And for almost everyone, they need about 6 attempts to send it to the teacher. And after that, students can review their videos. If they were very satisfied with their performance, they can send a video to the teacher. If they were not, they could practice it over and over again. And then we can get a result from the video performance. As you can see, with each record, students are able to speak more and more words in the video performance. And also, students got 46 improvements in the word production. It's amazing, right? And so the writer concluding that producing regular cell phone video really encourages students to consider the best video production strategy as well as enhance students' performance. This is from the video performance. And the second one, we can get another result from the post-test. Students really perceive a lot of improvement in their speaking performance, especially in speed, fluency, and speaking without notes. Okay. And this part, we were talking about the result from the t-test. This approach is used with data collected from one group at different points at a time. Okay, so this one is used to analyze the pre-test, the survey, and the post-survey to know how's the differences between pre-test and the post-test. And it shows that it really have a significant differences between the pre-survey and the post-survey. And next analysis is Pearson correlation. The data from students' weekly production process reports and post-survey responses were analyzed with Pearson correlation coefficients. And the purpose was to see if any relationship between the 12 items as I marked, you can see, existed at different points at a time. And from the result, we can see that as the evidence from week 2 and week 13 reviews, more and more relationships emerge as students get more practice with their cell phone radio in the target language. And it's time for us to review the research question. The writer wants to ask, is it really possible to use a cell phone video recording feature to evaluate learners' speaking skill? For this question, the answer is check. This case was able to document that students really emoted by the test requirement to use their cell phone video recording features to practice their speaking skills, and they enhance a lot. Okay. So after reading this article, I got a reflection. How can we make good use of the technology to enhance students' learning via their cell phones? What can we do? So this is the question I will keep on and try to find more answer about it. It's very important for the English teacher to think about that. Since the technology is getting better and better, so students already get used to it. How can we take advantage of the technology and enhance their learning? Okay. And the last part I want to share with you is test yourself. Push your limits. It's never about the time for us to know our limit is. As long as you have a very strong will, and you can do more. Actually, it's a lot more than you think. So this is the end of my presentation. Thank you.